Hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff. For those of you looking for great books on finance, there are links in the description below. And also somebody was asking me, where's my finger going? Right here. What all of this was, it's art, it's prints. I have a problem where I keep buying too much art and now it's like actually encroaching on living spaces. Anywho, today in what? How's that possible news? You'll never guess what's happening and what's been going on. So for those of you who've been paying attention, for those of you who've been here for I want to say the better half of 2 to maybe 3 years at this point. Hello. Rich people keep doing something and I can't really put words to it. Buying Bitcoin. That's what it is. Sorry, my English not so good. Apparently, whales are currently buying more Bitcoin than they ever have before. One of the discrepancies, however, happens to be like what constitutes a whale. So in the normal financial space, it tends to be someone who's a millionaire, multimillionaire, who has a lot of one singular item, who has a large amount of stock or home, what have you. In the cryptocurrency space and the Bitcoin space, the discrepancy lies somewhere between 100 to 1,000 Bitcoin. The idea being, years ago, if you had 30, 40, 50,000 Bitcoin, you were a whale. As Bitcoin's price rises, you need less to actually even be considered a whale. The same exact thing for those of you who missed it millions of times. In order to be part of the 1% of Bitcoin holders on the planet, 1%, you need 0.28 Bitcoin. But even that number is from a number of years ago when Bitcoin was like $17,000. So it's probably closer to like 0.19. We don't have an exact metric, but it's definitely a lot lower than it was before. So this metric this isn't a pendulum, but you understand, it keeps swinging back and forth depending on how people declare richness within Bitcoin. So sometimes it's seen as if you have over 100 Bitcoin, which is still a lot of freaking Bitcoin, and it's a lot of money, or if you have 1,000. This metric, however, is going by the 1,000 Bitcoin mark. That is to say, addresses that have over 1,000 Bitcoin are included in this whale discussion. Just within the last 30 days, these particular addresses, and I'll tell you why that's important, these particular addresses purchased over 84,000 Bitcoin in 30 days. Now, one of the problems with saying numbers like this is that we are used to hearing 84 as $84,000, 84,000 euros, 84,000 pounds. People are forgetting that it's 84,000 Bitcoin, and it's hundreds and millions and billions of dollars being taken off of the market for Bitcoin at the exact same time. This metric is also not including any other wallet that might have 999 Bitcoin. See the it's not the issue per se, but a lot of times we get crazy accumulation news. That is to say, the metrics are only if you have over 1,000 Bitcoin in a wallet. These people purchased 84,000 Bitcoin in the last 30 days. If a wallet had 700 Bitcoin and they purchased 299, they're not part of this metric at all. You had to have started over 1,000 Bitcoin. For those of you who aren't getting it, whales are buying so much Bitcoin, and this is, once again, common theme over the course of the last 2 to 3 years. There's so little Bitcoin actually up for grabs, and I feel like my job on this earth at this point is to make everyone really understand exactly what's happening. If you missed any of the other videos, it's cool, don't do it again. We had news that when the people who are mining Bitcoin are selling, so they're mining for themselves, got it. They're not mining to, make the world a better place. They're doing it to enrich themselves. When they have to sell because they have to pay for electricity, if they're on grid, what have you, these coins are not going to cryptocurrency exchanges. They're going to large corporations and companies, and to countries and to banks. That was one of the other major news stories that we've had before. The amount of Bitcoin on exchanges is continuing to dwindle. And a lot of people pretend, why am I going lower? Keep pretending that it's not happening or that it's not actually a thing, because the vast majority of people continuously are only paying attention to Bitcoin's price. So when Bitcoin's price doesn't react how people think Bitcoin's price is supposed to react, as we keep getting this news, because I've seen it. I've been in this market and I've had these channels for a very long time. The problem lies in, if Bitcoin goes from $20,000 to $3,000 over the course of a 2-year period, retail investors leave the market. Everyday normal people flee. They go in different directions and everyone kind of disappears, while rich people continue to constantly buy more Bitcoin over and over and over and over and over and over. I could keep going, but I'm not going to go that much further. There's a very popular analyst in the space. His name is Qiyang Zhu, that is Young, and then space JU, talked about basically exactly what I just told you. And he said why this number is incredibly important. He noted that Bitcoin addresses holding at least, so that was that time frame. He added that Bitcoin addresses holding at least 1,000 Bitcoin are currently adding over 100,000 Bitcoin weekly. He said whale wallets, including spot ETFs and custody wallets, added 1.45 million Bitcoin to their wallets this year, reaching a total of 1.8 million BTC added. In 2021, about 70,000 Bitcoin flowed through the year. Now it's 100,000 Bitcoin weekly. I repeat, weekly 100,000 Bitcoin. Not to make the video too intense, but here we go. I keep saying, and I know some of you are listening, I got it, cool, I understand, blah, 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 blah. Got it. The problem is, here's the kicker. These people have found an ingenious way to basically accumulate tons of crypto in a very slow manner. That is to say, over the course of the last 15 years, and if you want to shrink it down, I'll give you a good 8-9 years, have found an ingenious way to accumulate a large amount of Bitcoin slowly, incredibly slow. And I mean almost at a snail's pace every single day over the course of multiple years. Whenever you hear news in the news about people selling or blah, 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 or things like that, we know, because we've gotten this information before multiple times. The people who are selling, they're retail investors. They're everyday normal people who, and I excuse my French here, who kind of don't see the long-term goal. People continuously get into our market. Prices don't move as quickly as they want them to. Prices go down 2%, and these people sell all their coins back onto the market, and we continuously see a flood of coins re-entering the space, and then these coins are swiftly swept up by whales. What's happening now is, I think whales understand that the big move is getting close. For those of you, if this is your first cycle, we always have the halving. It's a bit of a lull period and a reaccumulation period from the first accumulation. This is a reaccumulation period. And then prices begin to heavily move up. This is happening across, and I dare say, all asset classes within the cryptocurrency space right now. We are going, I'll put it to you nicely. I'm a believer that Bitcoin is obviously going to hit $100,000. I believe that Bitcoin And the soon is probably also going to go to $500,000 per coin. At some point, Bitcoin will also hit $1 million per coin. These people have been accumulating slowly and consistently over the course of a number of years. They already and are going to continue to own all the Bitcoin and all the wealth on the planet. They're buying up everything. It's not a coincidence and it's not random that BlackRock and Fidelity jumped onto the cryptocurrency space when they did. It's not random that they accumulated over 1 million Bitcoin in, like, what was it, 4 months or something insane like that. What we're witnessing, as I've said before, is the wealth transfer. People think of the wealth transfer as a literal, like in the cartoons where someone had like a sack of money, like it had like the big S on it and everyone, you hand it over to someone. It's happening silently and it's happening digitally. What do you think the world's wealth distribution looks like for people holding crypto and holding assets compared to people who don't hold crypto and who don't hold assets? We are witnessing the literal transfer. There are so many people, everyday people, who are into crypto. When prices dip, these are the only people who sell. How do we know that? Because of Glassnode, because of Santiment, and because of every other on-chain analytics company. We have this news all the time. They go through the numbers and they see that when selling happens, it's wallets that have 1/10 of a Bitcoin, 1/100th of a Bitcoin, or 15 XRP, half of an Ether. When prices go down, these people liquidate out of fear because they think that they're timing the market. They think that they're a day trader and blah, 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 and all these other things. And then they end up with nothing. Prices go back up higher than they had them before. And they feel, what's the term? This and something. Like this, they realize that they kind of miss the boat. And they're no longer incentivized to basically get back into the market. And it keeps happening over. This is a trend. How many times have I said this over the course of the last couple of years? But now it's picking up a lot more. 84,000 Bitcoin just within the last 30 days. And yeah, I'm a little bit exhausted at this point. I hope that you all have taken time out of your day at some point to reevaluate your current portfolios and see if Bitcoin might be right for you. Because I am certain that we are going to live on a planet where the average person has 15,000, maybe 30,000 Satoshis. And that's going to be kind of like the base of their wealth. So yeah, the accumulation continues quite heavily. We are going to continue seeing this happening. And as I always say, I think the real kicker for a lot of people is going to be when Bitcoin is around $100 to $200, $300,000. When Bitcoin is so prohibitively expensive for the average person, that's when the normal people will begin to try and rush back into the market. But at that point, they won't be able to accumulate anywhere near as much Bitcoin as they need or that they want or that they need for the future. Prices dip a tiny bit. They're going to sell off out of fear. And guess who's going to buy those coins once again? Yeah, not to have a somber ending, but it's more of a, I hope everyone's paying attention because who is paying attention? Rich people. Yeah, and they keep paying attention all the time, and they're buying all the stocks, and they're buying all the land, and they're buying all the lakes and rivers. Look that part up as well online. And now they're buying up all the crypto. And there's a reason why the rich get richer. I do hope that you got something from this video. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.